What is up, Packer fans out there watching and listening? Guys, what is up today? We have a special guest with us. Not just, well, he is special. He is a good friend of mine, and
Wow.
that's what I mean by special. Not because he's a Lions fan, because us as Packer fans, we do not care for the Lions. But
Mhm.
this dude, he has his own
Good.
channel, and it is a great channel. It is Sports Talk Detroit. He also has another channel called Sports Talk Extra. So good content on both channels. So if you haven't
Yeah, thanks,
checked it
man.
out, check it out. But yeah,
Yeah, check it out.
man, what is going on?
Oh, not a lot. I'll say exactly what you did when you were over on my side because we're doing a little you talk to me, I talk to you thing. And hey, you don't have to be a Lions fan to follow us at Sports Talk Detroit. You don't. You could be a Packers fan and you could be on there and maybe we'll win you over to the other side. But or if you just love the NFL, check out Sports Talk Extra. But no more plugging stuff for me. Let's talk about what you want to talk about, man. Let's talk about this
I
Turkey
love
Day
it.
game.
No, so
Let's
here's the
talk
thing.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right? I mean, and
Yeah.
growing up a young lad, when I was way back in the day, I used to love because it seemed like a more regular, consistent thing for the Packers to play the Lions on Thanksgiving. I used to love it because,
Oh, that's funny
there
you
was
say that. I
no
always thought we played the Bears.
well, really, yeah. Because so for
Yeah.
me, I mean, I always thought about that, but there was no bigger rival growing up than the Detroit Lions. I grew up hating the what do you Honolulu Blue or whatever. I've
Yeah,
always
it's
hated it.
Honolulu Blue. It's beautiful.
Oh man, I do
You
not
loved
like
Barry
Detroit.
Sanders. You did.
Which is funny. Okay, so there's a lot of Packer fans that I talk to. They hate Minnesota worse and Chicago worse. I'm more like, hey, listen, Detroit's at the top of the list for me. And then it gets really, then those guys are like
It's a
distant.
compliment.
Second, yeah, yeah. No,
Thank
so
you.
here's the thing. Here's where I'm at, and here's where a lot of Packer fans are at. Detroit is a scary team. This is a different Detroit than any Packer team has seen, at least in my 42 years lifetime.
Sure.
This is a good Lions team, and they're a confident Lions team. They're well coached. They got a good GM there. They've got a lot of good things trending in the right direction. I think a lot of us Packer fans are a little jealous of what is going on in Detroit. But as you look at Detroit for you, I feel as a Packer fan, I'm like, okay, I'm actually pretty excited about this game because I feel like Detroit is hitting that lull of sorts
Mm,
because they're 8-2, seven
that's
and
right.
into 8-2.
It's our
Geez,
best record since 1961.
holy crap,
Heading
really?
into it's 60 or 61. Yeah, it's the best record heading into Thanksgiving since 1960 or 61. That is
That
an accurate statement. Yes.
that is impressive. So here's the thing, man.
Is it?
No, yeah, right. Is it? But Detroit is looking super good, and I'm a little jealous of your front office, all of that stuff, which is funny. I never thought I'd say that,
Hmm.
but Detroit feels like they're hitting a little bit of a lull, and we've seen them almost lose to the Chargers, who we just beat, by the way.
Mhm.
And you guys almost lose a game you should have lost, but you found ways to win. You should have lost to the Bears last week. You didn't, but I feel
No, we
like you guys
didn't.
are right on the cusp of an upset loss. So, how concerned are you as a Lions fan, just with their recent performances versus the Chargers and the Bears?
Sure. No, that's a good question. First, before I answer that question, can I just take a moment to say, Packers fans everywhere, you are not allowed to be jealous of the Detroit Lions. You don't get that yet. All right. You don't get to be jealous because you had Brett Favre. I see him back there watching over us right now as we do this show. All right. You have had Aaron Rodgers in that entire time, we've won this many playoff games. I don't know what year Favre started. The last playoff win for the Lions was 1991. Jealousy is not something you get to start claiming 10 games into the season after you've had
Yeah.
34 years or whatever it's been of those two. So that's fine. But am I worried about the Detroit Lions? My answer is yes and no. Yes, because you see the lull. No, because it's not like there's anything there that we didn't kind of already expect. I think when you talk about our defense, Aaron Glenn, I think is a great leader of men. I think he is a great coach. I think he would be actually a very good head coach, to be completely honest with you. I don't know if his strongest coaching suit is to be a defensive coordinator. He either has your number or he just flat out doesn't. And I know we talked about this over on my channel too. And the thing about Aaron Glenn is we've seen this. Seattle Seahawks, if they score 38, we did great defensively against them because they just know how to beat Aaron Glenn. It's just a bad matchup. Justin Fields will run for 100 yards every single time he plays us. He's 0-3 against us, but he's ran for 100 yards every single time. And so, like, it's just one of those things where it didn't surprise me going into Baltimore that we lost. It surprised me how bad we lost. It didn't surprise me going into LA that our defense got torched. And it didn't surprise me when every once in a great while, Jared Goff throws a couple interceptions. I know it was 3. So no, I'm not super worried about the lull right now because this is a team that has proven over and over again they learn from bad games, even if they're wins.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so you think it's
Under Campbell.
more. You don't think it's okay? Because I was like, okay, what's happened in Detroit? Are they battling injuries right now? Is that what has changed? What's going on there? But it's not.
It's actually interesting that you say that. We battled injuries the first half of the year. So
Okay.
we battled injuries on our way to 6-2. And we had injuries like crazy, which happens to us in the front half of every year. But last year and this year, we actually started getting healthier around that midpoint. And you see it this week. The Packers are littered with injuries, and we have Jonah Jackson that will be out for the game. And somebody could get injured in practice, but like, I don't think they're going to be doing heavy hitting on Wednesday. They're just not. I mean, today, it was today. We just don't know what kind of practice these teams had, right? As this video comes out. But, another injury could pop up, but the team's actually getting healthier. So, no, it's not that. And I will tell you this too. You talked about the lull. When we now have Jahmyr Gibbs that has proven he's a bona fide stud. Like, I mean, dude is shockingly fast out of the backfield, and he's had 3 or 4 games in a row that have just been remarkable. And now Jameson Williams is starting to get going. The amount of explosiveness this offense has, even if we're not clicking, a couple big plays can turn the whole game around, and that's exactly what happened against the Bears. So
yeah, right.
It's weird to have that. We haven't had that explosion since Kelvin. So
okay, so you say so. Here's where I'm at with Detroit because I'm like as an outsider looking in because I try to avoid watching the lines, but as an outsider looking in, I'm sitting there seeing I'm like, okay, they're almost losing these games, but how do you explain then Jared Goff's 3 picks? Because he hasn't done that yet this season. Are the Bears is the Bears that good on defense?
Oh, the Bears defense is just tremendous.
That's right.
The Bears actually have the 2nd ranked run defense, which is just nuts to me. And as my Bears friend Sean, who explained, it's just because our pass defense is so atrocious, nobody has to run on us. But I thought that was interesting. No, how do I explain Jared Goff's 3 interceptions? I'm at risk of sounding overly confident. Jared Goff, until last year with the Lions and that big streak of like 11 games or something where he didn't throw an interception until Green Bay, I think. Like he's always been a guy who will turn the ball over every once in a while. And so I think some of it is making up for lost time. It's just, water finds its level.
Yeah.
But here's what I'll stick to in that game. Yes, Jared Goff threw 3 picks. You should never win a game when your quarterback throws 3 interceptions. By the way, that same week, CJ Stroud threw 3 picks for the Texans and they won. But here's the other side of it. With Jared Goff, at the end of the first half, flawlessly runs a 2-minute warning. We go down, we score. And then in the last 4 minutes, 2 perfect drives. I think he was 10 or 11 of 12 in those last 2 drives. Just a maestro. After throwing 3 interceptions, to go have the confidence to lead not 1 but 2 essentially game deciding or game winning drives. That's really impressive. So that's how I can say, all right, he had 3 picks, but I'm not going to worry about it yet because he seemed to learn from it in the game.
So speaking of quarterback performances, can I just read you a stat and you may not find this interesting, but I find it incredibly interesting and this
Can't
is
wait to hear it.
The Packer momentum. And this is kind of what we're riding as Packer fans. and this is about Jordan Love, right? And this is like the most talked about quarterback, that's really not winning is Jordan Love,
Okay.
right? So Jordan Love over his last 3 games, he has thrown 64%. That's his
Completion percentage. Okay.
completion percentage. That's where he's at right now, right? So he's almost at 900 yards. He has thrown for 5 touchdowns, 2 picks. But the biggest thing there is that he is 2-1 over those last 3 games,
Absolutely.
right? The 3 games
Absolutely.
prior, Jordan Love was only 59%. His 59% of his completion percentage right there, and he was 500 and like 575 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and they went 0-3. So
Yeah.
he
So he's
seems to
learning.
have. Yeah, he seems to have turned the corner a bit, right? He's learning, right? And that's what we want to see as Packer fans. Like, okay, is this dude going to turn the corner? Is he making strides in the right direction? I think he is hitting a high right now. So for me
Okay.
as a Packer fan, I'm like, hey, this is a dangerous time to play the Packers because you get a young group of guys together, and when they start
Yeah.
believing in themselves, that can be a messy thing for an opponent. I'm not saying that watch out for the Green Bay Packers either in the playoffs. They do, ironically enough, they do have this slim chance to make the playoffs,
They
but
do.
obviously they're not going to catch the Lions. The Lions are just, they're on top right now. Our best bet is getting in as a wild card. But
I'm
anyways,
going to say something very nice about
please.
the Packers. I think, and I know that your fans may not feel this way, but take it from someone on the outside looking in and seeing what they've done historically. I think Matt LaFleur is a good coach, and I think he's a good offensive coach. And when you say numbers like that, where he went from 3 touchdowns to 6 picks, now he's 5 touchdowns to 2 picks, isn't that what you kind of told me was
Yep.
the switch there?
Yep.
That just tells me that Jordan Love is starting to understand the speed of the NFL game, and he's getting a better grasp of a system that is proven to work. Matt LaFleur came in and made Aaron Rodgers better, not worse, right? Like he came in and Aaron Rodgers won 2 MVPs with him. They get to 2 championship games. I'm telling you, this guy, if he has a competent quarterback, you are going to have a top half offense. I just truly think that's what it is. There's just a ton of young guys everywhere. They're just learning how to play together.
Dude,
That's
I
it.
appreciate you saying that because honestly,
I hate
I'm
it
I,
personally.
there's a lot of Packer fans out there that are like, "Hey, man, axe LaFleur, get rid of him. He
No.
sucks." Actually, my brother happens to be one of those dudes. He's like, "Man, LaFleur sucks." And I'm like, "Really? You think so?"
Come on, Dan.
So, yeah, I know, right? So here's the thing. I think Matt LaFleur, and I appreciate you saying that, especially from an outsider looking in, because us as Packer fans, we can either, when we're losing, he sucks. When we're winning, he's like, okay, man, this dude's he's pretty solid. I happen to keep like an even keel in the middle there, where I feel like I do, where I'm like, okay, this dude, he's not bad. So I appreciate you saying that, especially as a Lions fan, man.
Yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard, but I really do believe that he is a good coach. I just think there's not a ton of offensive weapons to work with there right now. I'm not saying they can't develop into them. You haven't spent enough resources on
No.
firepower on the offensive side of the ball. So, yeah, defensive coordinator is something to look at first.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Joe Barry, let's get rid of him. Everybody's on board for that. So I'm this it's nearing 14 minutes on this video. So
Yeah,
what I want to end with is it's Turkey Day, baby. It is
yeah, Turkey
Turkey
Day.
Day. Lions Packers. You tell me, what do you think? Who's going to win this game as a Lions fan? Who do you think is going to win this game, and what's the score going to be?
I
I don't want
have to go with the Lions. It
to
helps that I
do
believe,
it.
and I have to stick with what I said. Don't we have a text message somewhere that says what my score prediction is? I think we do. I'm trying to look for it right now, and I can't find it. And that's okay because you shouldn't be
Throw it out.
looking at your phone while on TV or YouTube. I don't know why I said TV. Yeah, 34 to 24. Did I say or
I
34
think that
21
was right.
Lions?
I think it was 34-21.
Okay, 34-21. And the reason I'm going with 34-21 is because the Packers have only scored more than 20 points once since week 2.
Love it, man.
Yeah. So I'm
I
gonna
love
go
it. I
21
love that
there.
you have some backing there. That's okay. Good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. And I think also we scored 34 the first time. We beat you 34-20 in Lambeau. I do think your team is better. I absolutely do. But we're at home. It's Turkey Day. It's the Lions Super Bowl. Let's go, baby.
I love it, man. Thank you so much for coming on, dude. Guys, again,
Of
Sports Talk
course.
Detroit. I love you, dude. And you know what? Go Packers. Even though you're a Lions fan, I still love you, man.
Hey,
Go
I love you
Packers.
too, man. We're getting all sentimental here. Go Lions. Honolulu blue is the most beautiful
So
shade of blue.
ugly. Green and yellow. Go.